Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're gonna do congee, but not just any congee, a Wok Hei seafood congee. Okay, I might have got you at Wok Hei Congee. This is a technique that I learned from Wok Hei when I visited them in Hong Kong. You're going to cook porridge as per normal, and then after that, you're going to infuse the Wok Hei into the seafood before you add it into the porridge. Before you do anything else, make sure you cook the porridge first because it will take you about 25 minutes to cook the porridge. So I boiled the water and I got some of this US Calrose rice which I've already washed. I'm going to add the rice to the water. The proportion of rice to water is 1 to 12. Just a little bit of rice, a lot of water can feed a lot of people. Today, we're talking about the Hong Kong style congee, or what we call chok. Where we have the rice is in, you can still see the grains of rice, whereas in the chok or congee, you're supposed to cook it until it's nice and creamy and the rice particles is almost all disintegrated. So I'm going to throw in some dried scallops. So I got some water, I bring it to the boil, I wash some rice, I throw it in, and then I just leave it to cook for the next 25 minutes. I'll give it one stir, okay, and you make sure that you can't feel any of the rice at the bottom. Okay, so US Calrose rice, what is it? It's a medium grain rice, very much like Japanese rice, Korean rice, Taiwanese rice. And for porridge, medium grain and short grain rice is actually very good. It's very starchy, makes the porridge very nice and velvety. So today I'm using Okome brand rice, which is also from the USA. It says here is short grain. Some people call it medium grain. It's basically more plump than the normal rice that we use. Very good for porridge, very good for if you're making sushi, if you're making rice that you want a little bit sticky. While the porridge is cooking, we're gonna get some ingredients ready. Now this is a seafood porridge. You basically can add anything lah. I promised you a very easy recipe, right? So these scallops and clams are readily available at your supermarket freezer section. If you want a little bit more fancy, I put in some prawns. Even more fancy, go and get some lobster, some crabs. You can throw anything you like in here. But the key is the Wok Hei. So I'm going to show you how you're going to infuse Wok Hei into your porridge. Okay, so with 25 minutes, let's check on our porridge. Whoa, look at that. You can still see the little bits of rice there. It's not quite ready. We want to hurry up the process. So this is the first tip. What we need to use is one of these whisks, and we're going to whisk to break up the rice. This will save us a few minutes, right, of extra cooking. So as I say, there are many ways of actually cutting down on the cooking time. This is one way. Another way is to pre-soak your rice. You can soak your rice overnight, and that will make it easier, shorten the cooking time. Okay, and this is tip number 2. In case you don't have scallop, or when you taste it, it's still not umami enough, what we can do is add some scallop sauce. This is also very easily available at your supermarket. It comes in a bottle. Used for cooking, but I find that it goes really well with the porridge. It just gives it a nice flavour without overpowering it. Okay, so I'm just going to add a bit of the scallop sauce. Okay, so look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's a nice porridge. I'm going to turn off the heat now. I'm going to set the porridge aside and then show you how to make the Wok Hei. I managed to meet the legendary American Chinese chef, Chef Martin Yan. So I asked him straight in the face. I said, what is the secret of Wok Hei? He said, it's very simple. Big fire! Big fire! Okay, so you don't have a big fire in the kitchen, so what do? You use a small pan. This is a carbon steel pan. You need to use something that is not coated with anything that's non-stick because you want to really heat it up, so you don't want anything to melt. And you need a fire, as big a fire as you can get. And then the other key is you need to heat it up long enough so that it will be really smoking hot. So while that is heating up, we're gonna take our seafood. So I got some clams here. You're gonna make sure that it's dry. We're just gonna fry small amounts at a time because you don't want to crowd the pan. Once the seafood goes into the pan, it will start to lose heat. So you work in batches. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of the clams and a bit of the scallop. I'm gonna add some oil to it, and then I'm gonna add some Chinese wine. Okay, the oil and Chinese wine together will make it easy for it to ignite. If you're at home, make sure that when you're doing this, there's no one around. You see, the pan is screaming hot now. A bit of oil onto the pan. Once this goes into the pan, the fire will erupt like that. If you want more fire, more oil, or even you can add a bit more alcohol and you get the fire. Okay, once the fire erupts, you will be able to smell that wok hei, and the whole house will smoke. Okay, anyway, that's your wok hei. So once this is ready, what you can do, turn off the fire, you can add it directly to the porridge. You know, we just want to be a little bit more fancy, so I've just got some fresh prawns. I'm just gonna throw in the prawns. When it's cooked like this, you make sure you need to stir it every now and again so it doesn't stick to the bottom, or else you get chao ta porridge and instead of wok hei, congee. Okay, porridge is ready. Now it's time to plate. So we're just gonna garnish it now. I'm gonna put some youtiao. I love youtiao, don't you? A bit of chopped green onions, sakura ebi, which I've just toasted. This will give it extra umami, and some fried shallots, dong chai, and a bit of pepper, and finally a few drops of sesame oil. Voila! Porridge fit for a king. So now it's time to taste it. Wow. Now, you can see that I put a lot of different ingredients, right? The porridge itself is very simple. It's really up to you how complicated you want to make it, but all my condiments are there for a purpose. I put in a bit of the sakura ebi because you can bite into it, you get the umami, then you get the clam and the scallop, which has that wok hei flavor. And of course you got the prawn, but mainly, right, it is that creamy porridge, that creamy congee that carries all that flavor in itself. So next time you're at the supermarket, make sure you look out for US Calrose rice and cook yourself a nice bowl of congee. Until next time, happy cooking.